Bronies. What are they? What do they do? That is the topic on today's episode of The Sauce. So, Internet, you may be asking yourself, what exactly is a brony? Well, as some of you may know, a brony is a boy or a girl who is outside of the desired demographic audience of the show My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. And I guess some of the other pony shows as well. Alrighty, so some of you may be wondering, what is it about the pony show that boys and girls outside of this demographic seem to like so much? The main reason that most people seem to like My Little Pony Friendship is Magic is not because of the fact that there are ponies in it, but rather because the original creator, Lauren Faust, decided to create an actual pony show with some sort of depth to the storyline that was not just your traditional run-of-the-mill garbage pony show. That being said, a lot of the people who claim to be bronies are more or less a fan of the creative art style, the colorfulness, the funniness, and the overall enjoyable feel of the show. There's a large misconception on the internet that a brony is something sexual or really weird, that somebody who is interested in the show is like a creep or a pedophile, and that isn't really the case. I'm sure sometimes it is, but for the most part it isn't. Some of you may be thinking that a brony is an alien species that needs to be avoided at all costs. And let me tell you, this is not always the case. I have personally had contact of the fourth kind with many bronies myself. Most of the individual bronies that I have had the experience of meeting tend to be artists, people who are really good at drawing, they're really creative, they're good at writing, and they tend to enjoy music. Now, being that most people tend to like art and music, I'm going to assume that most people kind of fall into this category without the whole watching the actual show thing. Now, the question you may be asking is this an acceptable thing? Should people be bronies? And to me, I think it's perfectly okay. You can be a brony if you want to be. That's fine. That's 100% acceptable, because that is the thing that you like. Whether or not other people like it, doesn't matter. Tell them to stick it up their butt. The desired demographic for shoujo manga fans tend to be adolescent teenage girls. However, I am not one. To me, the reason that I like shoujo manga compared to traditional Shonen Jump manga isn't because I am gay or girly. It's simply because I personally feel that the content is more intelligent. I'm not saying that there is anything wrong with Shonen Jump manga. To me, I think it's extremely enjoyable. I'm just saying, most of the time, I tend to actually watch shoujo manga. You may or may not have noticed, but I keep calling it manga, even though if I'm watching it, it's technically anime. But I do read the manga as well. Okay, now back to the original question. Is it acceptable for somebody to be a brony? And the answer to that question is yes. It is 100% acceptable for you to be into anything, regardless of whatever its desired demographic may be. However, there is a difference, in my opinion, between a brony and a creeper. Now, if you look at the traditional creeper, or creeper brony, as I like to call them, this is not just your traditional fan of the series. Like, I'm a fan of the Thundercats, I'm a fan of Dragon Ball Z. Does that mean that I'm constantly running around wearing nothing but Bleach, or Naruto, or Dragon Ball Z, or the Ninja Turtles, or the Thundercats memorabilia? No. It's not because I don't want to directly voice the fact that I am really into those shows. It's simply because a little bit goes a long way. Like currently, I'm wearing a Scooby-Doo hat. Is that because I'm a huge, massive fan of Scooby-Doo? Not really. It's kind of a nostalgic thing, and it was the first thing I ever won in a claw machine. But that's not really the point. To me, a creeper brony is not the same as regular brony, simply because of the fact that a creeper brony will wear almost nothing except for My Little Pony Friendship is Magic things. They will carry a whole lot of different My Little Pony Friendship is Magic memorabilia on them, like keychains, wallets, things like that. A wallet by itself, perfectly fine. A wallet with a keychain and a t-shirt and a hat, that's really creepy. Also, if you were going around constantly drawing My Little Pony things, or painting My Little Pony things, or singing My Little Pony songs, and all you really do day in, day out is think of My Little Pony, you're probably a creeper brony. To me, a creeper brony is more or less similar to somebody who's into a lot of bondage, or something like that. You know, something that society views as really creepy and unacceptable. That, to me, is what a creeper brony is. Somebody who you see nonstop, won't shut up about brony stuff. I understand you're a fan of the series, and you may want to voice the fact that you're a fan of it simply to spite the rest of society, but a little bit goes a long way, like I said earlier. So, tone it down like 100 times on that dial, if you are an actual brony. Because you can be a fan and not be ridiculous with it. So if you do not want people to think that you're a creeper brony, the easiest way to do that is to not do everything I just mentioned on that list. Now, you can be a regular brony, maybe own like one t-shirt, maybe own like a wallet, or something like that. Something a traditional fan would actually own. Maybe 2 or 3 things. Okay, I'm not saying that you can't own a decent amount of memorabilia. I'm just saying don't wear it all at the same time, and don't wear My Little Pony Friendship is Magic stuff day in and day out every single day. Now, to answer a question some of you may be wondering, am I a brony? And the answer to that is no. Not because I think it's really creepy, or because I think it's unacceptable. To me, I just think it's a little bit too girly. I've watched Blue's Clues and Dora the Explorer probably a little bit more than I probably ever should have. I don't really care for Dora the Explorer, but Blue's Clues is the bomb, and if you've not seen that show, you need to start watching it. Maybe not so much the newer Blue's Clues. I haven't really seen any of the newer episodes in a long time. But the old school Blue's Clues before, Joe or whatever his name is went to college. Thanks for joining me today on this episode of The Sauce. I enjoyed having you here. I hope you enjoyed listening to me rant about bronies for absolutely no reason. I just saw a couple of people walking around and I was like, I should really talk about that. Because I think there are a lot of people out there who really do not understand this, or they just think it's just straight out creepy. So, if you have absolutely no life like me, feel free to click the subscribe button right here. I'm not sure if the annotation will work right now. The annotation did not previously work when I was editing my last video. But hopefully the subscribe button will work right there. And then, yeah, have a fantastic day. Excuse me, sir. I ordered the Adventure Time Fun Time dish, and you brought me the My Little Pony Friendship is Magic dish. And it tastes a lot like disappointment and misunderstanding. Could you please bring my original order? You are all entitled to your own opinion. Except for you. You're not.